Myself Vaibhav. In today's session of Visual JForex, I will be demonstrating to you how to use the array of data named onTick. So let's get started for today's session. In the blocks, we don't really have the description for onTick, so we straight away head to the Visual JForex board, which has been developed by the Dukascopy Bank SA. As you can see, we can utilize onTick as a start point also if you are going to develop any algorithm for which you need to see and use the tick by tick data, then it is more appropriate that you use the on tick as your start point. Here you have the brief description provided to you also. So this is the start point on tick. As I remember, during the start of this series, I think I had done one session on the start points also. In that, we had seen how we can utilize this. Now, we will be going bit in details. We will see what is included under this array of data. We can access the individual components of onTick using these variables provided to us. So here the last tick you might be aware, when we take the data of any financial instrument tick by tick, that means that in 1 hour you will get the 3.6 million points of references, points of you can say data calculation. This is how each tick looks like. As there is not much of a movement in the USD JPY, as this is the morning session, the Asian trading session, we are not really seeing the USD JPY stick chart moving fast. But as I said, we have 3.6 million ticks in 1 hour, and we can look at the individual components of these tick, individual characteristics of these ticks, and access the data to design and develop the algorithm which we feel is likely to be profitable. So all the characteristics which we had seen for the candle, most of those characteristics can also be taken into account for these ticks. So let us now head back to the Visual JForex board. Here you will see last tick, it includes both the sides, tick bid and tick ask. We have the volume data also included both for the bid side as well as the ask side. Then we can also go into the details of the underlying instrument. It can be a currency pair or it can be a CFD. So all these variables provide you the depth, and we can utilize these individual components. Usually we can look at the spread also, simply do the calculation, subtract the bid from the ask, and you get the spread. So that is one of the use. And if you want to set any condition, you can just take the if block, access this bid or ask side, define the second variable, and you can set the condition. So you can do that also. You can also look at the volume. You can define the kind of volume you want before the trade's execution happens. So all you have to do is set the condition, take the reference volume, see what is the appropriate volume which should be there before the execution of trade, and you put that value here, and all set. Now it has become 0, but as I said, we can provide any value. If you want to provide just 1k, right, 1000. So it is all up to you. All you have to do is define the conditions the way it will prove more profitable to you. Coming to the instrument, many times each individual component is needed. If we want to design our own customized stop loss or the target price, we usually take into account these pip size of the underlying instrument. We do the calculation using the calculation expression, and you simply define the pips by multiplying these pip size of the tick instrument by the defined variable. So here I will explain to you. I will give you a brief example. Suppose if you are working with the Euro USD and you want the stop loss to be of 10 pips, then all you have to do is take this last tick instrument pip size. So this is going to be a factor, then create a new variable, and variable name will be named SL. Okay, start point is 10. All set, well and good. Now we have to go to the users variable. Here it is, and define the relation, the function a1 into a2, and the result of the calculation, it should be in integer. Whenever we are going for any open at market or pending open, we need to define the target price and the stop loss in integers only. So the data type, we have to make sure that the data type is in integer. So what we will do here is we will have to change the data type to integer. So pay attention to this, and it will be stop loss pips SLP. So here we have this stop loss has been defined using the individual characteristic of this last tick instrument pip size. So similarly, you can also access the other data points. This is the array of data, as I have said earlier many times. So you can go into the details of these all the individual components and see what kind of component will fulfill the requirement of the algorithm, and take this component and define the condition using that. Tick time we usually take for defining the order validity. If you are placing the pending open order, then you need to define the order validity for that order. Suppose if you want to keep the order valid for 1 hour, then you will need to do the calculation in which you will have to use the cumulative sum of all the ticks included in 1 hour. As I have said, it is 3.6 million. So you have to take the last tick time, then add 3.6 million to it, and that's it. Your order validity will be set. The sum of tick time plus the 3.6 million ticks. And suppose if you want to break it down and keep the order validity, say for example just at 10 minutes, then all you have to do is divide the 3.6 million by 6, and you will arrive at the desired order validity time. So that's how you can use this tick time. Also there are other uses also. If you are working with the time unit component, time unit condition, and you want the trade execution to happen only between certain defined parameters, certain defined time interval, then you can see what is the tick time, current tick time, and the trade will be executed only if the current tick time is within the defined time interval. Suppose if you want the trading to happen only during the European trading hours, or for that matter the North American trading hours, or any session, you can define it for Asian session also. So you have to define the time restrictions using the time unit block, and then use this tick time to see what is the current time. So that's how you can work with this. So that's it from my side for today's session. If any of you have any idea or any query to share, you can write to me in the feedback section, and I will be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Thank you all for joining in. Do subscribe to the Dukascopy webinar channel. Goodbye.